my industry in urbanism, there are certain people who stand out. Gurus, if you were, somebody who takes one topic and becomes the leading expert on it. And I'm excited to meet my next guest.
Donald Shoup has spent decades studying a much overlooked aspect of transportation: parking. It's a fundamental component of land use that people take for granted. Donald came up with 3 key recommendations for cities. 1. Charge fair market prices for on-street parking. 2. Spend the revenue to benefit the metered areas. And 3. Remove off-street parking requirements. But yeah, we're all thinking the same thing, aren't we? Is this really going to work in a car-centric city like LA?
99% of drivers said they parked free at the end of every trip.
Right.
Just because the driver doesn't pay for parking doesn't mean the cost goes away. Somebody has to pay for it, and that somebody is everybody, including people who are too poor to own a car. It goes against everything that we say we want: clean air, less traffic congestion, and now climate change. And I thought, well, I could make a contribution in trying to figure out how to solve this problem. My recommendation for all cities around the world is to get the price of curb parking right. And by which I mean right is the lowest price you could charge and still have 1 or 2 open spaces.
Let's have a look at the parking meter. I want to see what it costs. See if it says on there. Does it tell us the price?
Here's somebody who's not paying.
Oh, right, okay. All right, so I can see here that there's a 2-hour limit and it costs $2 an hour. You're telling me that that's too low because it's filled up? What should the parking cost?
It depends on the market.
Right, okay.
See, it depends on demand at the time. It's different at different times of day. But I think I can look at this and say the price is too low. And it should be enforced. And parking enforcement is quite lax.
Once the appropriate price is established for parking, the next order of business is to redistribute that money properly so that it benefits the city and the people who actually live there. Shoup suggests investing the money back into the neighborhood in which it was collected. Fix the sidewalks, plant more trees, offer more Wi-Fi, even give free bus passes to everyone who works in an area where there are parking meters. Ensuring this money goes to practical and local use is a key element.
Like here, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parking meters. So this is one block in LA, in Westwood Village, and there's 5. That is half of the block is reserved for just 5 humans, really.
Not humans, empty cars.
Empty cars, true, right? Yes. So half of the block is for 5 empty cars, for car storage. Yeah. Then there's a bit of a yellow curb here, and then the bus stop begins, the red curb, right?
Yeah, that's about the same amount as for the 5 parked cars.
5 empty cars and like a really long bus stop, because you have a lot of buses in this neighborhood, right?
Yeah, that's right. You know, cars have colonized the curb lane for so long. Most people think the cars own them, but now the world has changed. There's so much demand for loading.
Yeah.
For Uber and Lyft, for drop-offs.
Oh, so that's Uber and Lyft also. When I see loading, I think it's like packages, but it's also for dropping off and stuff. Okay.
That's right. So how do you measure the productivity of the curb? And I began looking at thinking, well, how many people are these cars actually serving versus how many people are getting on and off the bus?
Yeah.
And there's so many more people being delivered to the curb by the bus. One of the conclusions might be, well, this should be a bus lane.
Mm. All of this brings up something much bigger: zoning laws. Yeah, they exist in many cities around the world, this concept where developers have to provide a certain number of parking spots for every new building. In LA, however, this means that there are people living without a roof over their heads, but there's no way a fancy condo building can pop up without parking. That is just plain wrong.
You know, I think that a city where everybody pays for everybody else's free parking is a fool's paradise. I think, what could we have if we didn't have parking requirements and just allowed the developer to estimate how many parking spaces the customers would want and be willing to pay for? Mm. But I think that these ideas are applicable from Westwood to the world, that all cities that I go to say we're unique. But when it comes to parking, I think they're all alike. And I think good ideas will work in all of them.